Hello and welcome back to another amazing chess video, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are watching a game between Magnus Carlsen, who was playing with white, and Fabiano Caruana, who was playing with black pieces. This game was played at Julius Baer Generation Cup 2023 just a few days ago, and the game is simply amazing. You will enjoy it, so let's go straight into it. So Magnus opened the game with e4, we have e5 for Fabiano, knight f3, knight c6, we have bishop b5, this is Ruy Lopez, a6 for black, bishop a4 for Magnus, we have knight f6 for black, and we have castle for Magnus. b5 right now attacking this bishop, Magnus is forced to retreat, and we have bishop c5 for Fabiano Caruana, we have c3 for Magnus Carlsen with the idea to push this pawn in the center, and we have d6 now for Fabiano. Now there was another idea in this position I will show you. So instead of going d6, maybe you saw that this pawn could be taken, but then Magnus would continue with queen e2. We have d5 for black, d3 attacking this knight. We have knight f6 going back. We have d4 striking in the center immediately. We have bishop b6 for black, d takes on e5. Knight is now forced to jump in on a really nice square. We have knight b2 d2 offering trade, knight c5, and bishop c2 for white. And this is what would transpire after this sort of moves. And white is doing better here, so that is the reason why picking up this pawn on e4 was not a good option. So we have d6 for Fabiano, we have d4 for Magnus, usual move in these sort of positions, bishop b6 for black, bishop e3 for Magnus Carlsen, castle for Caruana, knight b2 d2 for Magnus, and we have rook e8 now for black. Game continues with rook e1, and we have h6 for Fabiano Caruana. Fabiano wants to stop bishop b5 or maybe even knight g5 jumping there. We have h3 for Magnus Carlsen, also stopping knight jumping on there, and also a sort of a prophylactic move. We have e picks up on d4, we have c picks up on d4, and we have knight b4 for Fabiano Caruana. This knight is looking really nice there. He can jump here, he can jump there. Our game continued with queen e2 for Magnus Carlsen. For now, this knight obviously cannot jump immediately there, but Magnus now covers this threat of this knight jumping there. So we have c5 for black. Black now wants to strike in the center and grab more space. We have a3 for Magnus Carlsen right now attacking this knight. And now we have an interesting trade. We have c4 for Fabiano Caruana right now attacking this bishop. Magnus accepts this and he picks up his knight. Fabiano picks up Magnus' bishop, and we have d5 on the board for Magnus Carlsen, opening the attack on this bishop. Bishop picks up on e3 for Fabiano Caruana, queen picks up on e3 for Magnus Carlsen, and right now knight picks up on d5 for Fabiano Caruana. You obviously cannot pick up this knight because your queen will fall. We have queen d4 first for Magnus, after that knight f4 for Fabiano Caruana, and right now this pawn will be returned and Magnus picks it up with knight picking up on b3. We have bishop e6 for Fabiano Caruana, sorry. Right now this knight is attacked. We have knight a5 for Magnus Carlsen with the idea to put this knight on a better square like here on c6 or on b7, which was played later in the game. We have queen d7 for Fabiano Caruana to protect this threat, and now we have queen e3 for Magnus Carlsen attacking this knight. We have g5 for Fabiano, just protecting this knight because this knight is really looking good here, as you can see. We have knight d4 for Magnus Carlsen, obviously putting the knight on an even better square, and right now maybe offering trade of this bishop if Magnus of course wants it, because this bishop is on a really awkward square and there is no way avoiding this trade. We have f5 for Fabiano Caruana. Caruana wants to stir the position a little bit, so Magnus for now does nothing and he plays queen g3, waits for Fabiano's move. Fabiano picks up this pawn and we have rook picking up on e4. Right now we have queen f7 for Fabiano Caruana, and we have knight b7 for Magnus Carlsen, and the position is dead equal, by the way, if you're wondering. With this move, looks like this one is free, but actually Magnus will pick up this knight because you cannot pick up this rook because your king is pinned. So Fabiano now makes a mistake by the computer and he picks up this knight. The better option was actually to play bishop d5 and to trade this after knight picks up on d6 to actually pick up this rook, and after knight picks up on f7, king picks up on f7, and you have rook and 2 pieces for a queen, which is a perfectly fine trade. So this would be actually black is doing better here. But right now this tournament is played on 15 minutes and it's really hard to, you know, have these all calculations in mind. By the way, Magnus only has 3 minutes when this move was played, and Fabiano had 5:38 on the clock, so it's not like a 2-hour game, long game, so it's really hard to calculate these sort of things. So queen b7 was played, which is a mistake in the position. After that, Magnus continues by picking up this knight. We have queen g7 by Fabiano Caruana. Now picking up this rook is a threat, so you have to move your rook. Magnus does it, and we have bishop h3, a crucial blunder of the position. Fabiano countered that he will be a pawn up after this exchange, because right now you have this that is hanging, this rook, you have this knight that is hanging, and Fabiano Caruana missed this important prophylactic move by Magnus Carlsen, which is queen b3 check, and right now you are moving your queen on a much better square, and you are now allowing yourself to pick up these pawns later. I will show you how. So after king goes on h8, Magnus continues by picking up this rook, and after rook takes, we have queen picks up on h3. Right now, white is knight up, so you have to pick up this knight, and that is the idea why queen b3 was such a good move, because right now queen picks up on h6 for Magnus Carlsen, king goes on g8, and another pawn falls for Fabiano Caruana, and the situation is getting difficult for Fabiano. We have king f8 right now, we have g3 for Magnus Carlsen to open the space for this king. Obviously you don't want to put this king on h-file, because possibly rook h8 could be a checkmate if this queen comes down there. So we have rook e2 right now played for Fabiano Caruana to attack this pawn. Magnus again finds the best move, queen f5 check, and also protecting this pawn. We have king e7 for Fabiano, and we have rook picks up on a6 for Magnus Carlsen. It's perfectly safe to pick up this pawn. Our game continued with rook e1 check, king goes on g2, another good move by the computer. We have queen e4 check. Fabiano now decided that situation was asking for a trade of queens, which he was right actually, because you don't want to allow this queen to start checking, because you will soon get probably checkmated if you are black. So forcing this trade happens, and we have rook a3 for Magnus Carlsen. We have rook picks up on b4 for Fabiano, rook e3 check for Magnus, king goes on f6. We continue with b3 for Magnus Carlsen to protect this pawn that is currently attacked by the rook. We have rook d4 for Fabiano, one pawn up, but Magnus is the endgame maestro. We have f4 for Magnus Carlsen, rook d1 for Caruana. We have king f3 for Magnus Carlsen, approaching this king and getting closer and closer to the black's position. We have d5 for Fabiano Caruana. Caruana tries to counterattack with his pawns, but it's too little too late, unfortunately. We have b4 for Magnus Carlsen right now, blocking this advantage. We have rook b1 for Fabiano Caruana, rook e5 for Magnus Carlsen. Magnus gives up this pawn, but he wants to pick up another pawn. This happens, rook picks up on d5, and we have a rook b1 played for Fabiano Caruana. Right now Magnus continues with rook d6 check, king e7. We have rook b6 on the board, always a good place to have your rook, because you always have to have your eye on this pawn that is ready to promote. We have b4 for Fabiano. Fabiano tries his best, king g4 for Magnus Carlsen. The valuation already says that white is doing much better here, that this is a one endgame, and especially playing against Magnus Carlsen, it's really difficult, but Fabiano decided to try. You have to try, obviously. These tournaments are really high paying, so it's bad to lose. You have to try it until the end. We have king d7 for Fabiano, king f5 for Magnus. We have king c7 attacking this rook, rook e6 for Magnus. We have b3, again a mistake in the position, although nothing else especially changed this position. You could play something else, computer recommends something else like a rook a1 as a better solution to try and maybe make stuff more difficult for Magnus Carlsen, but it is what it is. It's really hard right now. The position is very difficult. So b3, another mistake of the position. We have rook e3 for Magnus Carlsen. We have king d6 for black. We have g4 for Magnus Carlsen, advancing his pawns. King d5. We have g5, another advancement of his pawns. We have king d4 for Fabiano Caruana. Rook g3 for Magnus, creating a bridge here that you are not allowed to come with your rook behind. This pawn is free for this pawn is free for going into promotion. We have king c4 right now for Fabiano Caruana. We have g6, rook a1 right now. Fabiano tries and goes with his rook to maybe try and stop the promotion, but again g7, we have rook a5 check, and after king e4, Fabiano Caruana decided to resign because there is nothing you can do. Simply you cannot stop this promotion, there are no more checks, and white is winning the game. And this was all I prepared for you today, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a comment, like and share this video because it really helps me a lot. Also, if you wish to donate, feel free to do so. I will leave the link in the description of this video. It is not obligatory, it's only if you wish to help me. The videos will keep going, of course. And also let me know your impressions about this game. It was a really equal game until the middle of the game, and then situation changed with these few crucial mistakes by Fabiano Caruana, but it's always like this in chess, someone has to make the mistake for the other to win. So please let me know your thoughts about this position, and if you have some questions about the position, what could have maybe be done differently, let me know. I always read your comments, and I appreciate your time, guys. As always, we will see each other in the next video. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.